These Democrats should move on from identity politics. It's not working. It's not working for them or for us. Democrats are hemorrhaging the very voters they think they're pandering to. The Financial Times writes, Democrats are going backwards faster with voters of color than any other demographic, and suggests the reason is that a less racially divided America is an America where people vote more based on their beliefs than their identity. In America now, you're allowed to be many things all at once, and that's a good thing, even when it's really stupid.
After that huge electoral loss, you'd think the left would finally let go of identity politics, especially when it's clear it's not working. But nope, they're doubling down on it, pushing it even harder, especially now that Trump's in charge. Enter Maher, a passionate leftist himself, calling them out with sharp, no-holds-barred commentary that's fire. If you're into bold political takes, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it.
Now more than ever, we need to stop talking about the things that make Americans different from each other and start honoring the things that make us the same. So let my people, the Irish, lead the way. Because again, the Irish thing, I don't give a shit. But I do give a shit who wins the next election. And outdated racial pandering is one reason Democrats lose elections. When Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi put on kente cloth, I don't think it earned them one vote for their powerful emotional tie.
Okay, but seriously, what was that kneeling pose even about? And why did they do it? No clear reason. Just another meaningless act of moral grandstanding. The left seems to outdo itself in ridiculousness every time. It's less offensive at this point and more like a comedy show. They keep mixing up performance for actual progress and symbolism for real solutions, and then act surprised when no one takes them seriously. When one of their own, like Maher, is calling out these shallow moves, that should say something. The whole identity politics thing has gone from a strategy to a rejection point for many voters. It's suffocating at this point.
California, we're now segregating Really? California doesn't just have Amber Alerts for missing children. We have Ebony Alerts for black children and Feather Alerts for Native American kids.
Maher's absolutely right. So much of what the left presents as progress is just overblown gestures that do nothing but check boxes for moral superiority. Instead of solving real problems, they end up complicating everything. Look at the Amber Alert system. It was simple: alert the public fast when a kid's missing. But somehow, it got dragged into race politics, turning a life-saving tool into a bureaucratic mess. The goal should always be about speed and urgency, finding the child, not making everything about race. This is what Maher's calling out, how performative activism ends up making everything more complex and less effective.
Look, even if you like identity politics, this kind of thing is antiquated. From 2010 to 2020, the number of people identifying as multiracial in America went up 276%. 1 in 5 newlyweds now are in an interracial marriage, and that number goes up to 100% in ads for Subaru.
Here's the simple truth Maher drops. When you try to organize society strictly by identity, race, gender, whatever, it just doesn't work in the real world. Why? Because reality's messy. People are more diverse than those neat little boxes. Interracial marriages are rising, families are blending, and identities are becoming so intertwined it's impossible to just check boxes anymore. So what happens next? Do you start calculating percentages? Checking off who's more authentically whatever? It's a nightmare. And that's the point Maher's making. Pushing these rigid identity categories creates confusion and division when we should be uniting. Instead of bringing us together around common goals, it tears us apart into competing subgroups.
Remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner today because almost 100% of Americans approve of interracial marriage, especially with rich in-laws. And 95% of white women would leave their husband to marry Idris Elba. Idris Elba, who says, as humans, we are obsessed with race, and that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations. Actress Raven Simone agrees. She told Oprah, I'm tired of being labeled. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
And here's where Emma really drives it home. The left needs to stop obsessing over race and start focusing on individuals. No, it's not about ignoring race or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about not letting skin color be the only thing that defines every policy, every conversation, every decision. True progress comes when we see people for who they are, not for the label they wear. People don't want to be reduced to a stereotype. They want to be respected for their character, actions, and humanity. A colorblind society isn't about ignoring race. It's about fairness. It's about creating opportunities for everyone, regardless of where they come from. Emma's point is simple but powerful. Unity in diversity is the way forward, not focusing on what separates us.
She says, I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. My roots are in Louisiana. And you don't have to agree with that. But it's a point of view a lot of people have. It should be respected. Morgan Freeman says the way to finish off racism is stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. There's even a movement now to ban racial questions on the census, and many of its leaders are people of color, like Professor Sheena Mason, who says to undo racism, we have to undo our belief in race.
And here's where Emma really drives it home. The left needs to stop obsessing over race and start focusing on individuals. No, it's not about ignoring race or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about not letting skin color be the only thing that defines every policy, every conversation, every decision. True progress comes when we see people for who they are, not for the label they wear. People don't want to be reduced to a stereotype. They want to be respected for their character, actions, and humanity. A colorblind society isn't about ignoring race. It's about fairness. It's about creating opportunities for everyone, regardless of where they come from. Emma's point is simple but powerful. Unity in diversity is the way forward, not focusing on what separates us.
Liberal group MoveOn.org, formed in 1998 to urge Republicans to move on from the Clinton impeachment. Today's Democrats should move on from identity politics. It's not working. It's not working for them or for us. Democrats are hemorrhaging the very voters they think they're pandering to. The Financial Times writes, Democrats are going backwards faster with voters of color than any other demographic, and suggests the reason is that a less racially divided America is an America where people vote more based on their beliefs than their identity.
And this is huge. The very voters the Democrats have spent years wooing are now walking away. That should be a massive wake-up call. People are sick of identity-driven politics that don't solve real problems. What they care about: the economy, healthcare, jobs, personal safety. Those are the issues that affect everyone, no matter your race. When those basics are strong, people feel secure in their lives. When America prospers, everyone prospers. This shift isn't about ditching values, it's about prioritizing real-world issues. If the left keeps pushing cultural wars over tangible results, they'll keep losing voters.
Liberals are living in an old paradigm. Americans don't fit into neat little boxes anymore. Who has the #1 country song right now? Beyonce. Lil Nas X won a country music award, and he's black and gay. And a brand ambassador for the waspiest purse in America, Coach. The biggest new star in country is Jelly Roll, who was a drug dealer, then a prisoner, then a rapper, and then a face-tatted country music star. Not to mention a giant middle finger to the idea of staying in your own lane.
Let's talk about America for a second. The country is a melting pot of races, cultures, and backgrounds, united by shared ideals, not by bloodlines. The whole point of America was never to stick people into rigid categories or stereotypes. And honestly, the country doesn't fit into those outdated boxes anymore. It's way too diverse and dynamic for that. People are mixing, marrying, and building families across racial lines every day. What binds us is opportunity, ambition, and the chance to create something better. That's the promise of America. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is what you can achieve. And no matter what flaws exist, that ideal of merit, not identity, is what makes America great.
We're all jelly roll now. We're sloppy, complicated, and contradictory. 2/3 of Republican voters support weed legalization. And 41% of Democrats own or live with someone who owns a gun. Miss Marvel is Pakistani, and the winner of the last 2 NBA dunk contests is white.
And here's where things get really interesting. Many voters are walking away because they see the left stuck in the past, clinging to outdated racial stereotypes. Today's voters are more diverse, more nuanced, and they care about real-world outcomes, not identity politics. But the left's old playbook, it's just not cutting it anymore. Instead of adapting, they're doubling down on the same rhetoric that doesn't resonate. It's pushing people away, not pulling them in. The left needs to wake up and realize that real change comes when you focus on shared goals, not dividing voters into smaller and smaller groups. Until they figure that out, they'll keep losing, not just elections, but the trust of the people.